Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGenEd. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun going over charts. And so, this is Crypto Corner Sat Stacker for Saturday, August 23rd. Got a pretty exciting video today as Ethereum did hit new all-time highs yesterday. As you can see with this week's meme, which is, kind of a repeat of the prior week's meme, but this just came out yesterday from TrendSpider showing, the boss man Vitalik here with Ethereum having just made new all-time highs. And this is the first time since November of 2021. So, Ethereum is looking pretty good, and that is really, the basis for Crypto Corner Sat Stacker, the thesis that Ethereum was hitting lows back here in April when it hit around $1,400. And I did at that time suggest that I thought Ethereum could be hitting around $8,000 based on this red trend line, based on based on that red trend line and, corresponding with the end of the year. So 8,000 by the end of the year. But then I recently reevaluated that chart on the log scale, and maybe we could be going up to around 20,000 or, at least 10 plus $1,000, maybe by the end of the year, maybe next year. I don't really know. But generally just bullish, still bullish. If you do want to learn more about that thesis, I did go over it in this ETHster video. You got the thumbnail right there, the URL here, and that is going to be linked in the description of this video. And so that was Happy ETHster, which was on 4/20, April 20th of 2025. And so I just went over this thesis. That's where the screenshot's from, looking at ETH on the weekly time scale with the linear y-axis. And then also I did kind of break down my personal thesis and my strategy with how I am approaching the crypto market this year. And that will also be linked in the description of this video, really just being the intro from a previous Crypto Corner Sat Stacker. And so having just introduced all of that, we are in this blue sky territory with Ethereum, and I think that, that could be marking the beginning of alt season, that other alts are going to be rallying a lot. And over the past week, I was kind of thinking, what's kind of the discussion of this week's video going to be? And I was thinking it would be about trimming, what my strategy was for trimming. But yesterday, maybe the day before, I started to think more about maybe just repositioning some of the coins in my portfolio, rebalancing my portfolio, just really for risk management. And so doing that rather than trimming, I would just effectively stop buying or kind of pause buying. Although I will be stacking, Bitcoin and Ethereum daily, as that is the theme of this video, the series. But yeah, let's get into the list for the week. We can see that I did have a lot of buy orders or additions over the past week, but not all of them were filled. And so I think that's actually a really good sign that I did have, levels that were tested, that were pierced. I did get fills, but not all of them were filled. So I wasn't too aggressive, although you can see there is a lot of green here. There were a lot of buys, but not all of them. So I think, I feel pretty good about that. One that I did not buy the dip on was Bitcoin, that did cross below $114,000. I believe it was testing 111. We will get into the chart in just a second. But, I'm doing $40 additions a day for Bitcoin. I just don't really feel like I need to be more aggressive with that. But some of these positions, I do think I need to reorder them, and so I will be going over that. And before I forget, kind of the idea behind repositioning, adjusting my position sizes, is because I've been following some other YouTubers, some other people in the crypto space, and they've really just kind of got me to believe more so, I would say, in my thesis, but really that some of the ones down here should be more up here. So I will be going over that, and I will be including links to their videos in the description of this video, because just like as a YouTuber, as someone on here, I think it's good to be supporting other channels channels, even, though I'm a much smaller channel than them, still, I want to be connecting you guys with them, supporting them even more. And with that being said, make sure you like this video and subscribe if you are new. I do Crypto Corner Sat Stackers every single Saturday. But yeah, let's dive into it. Let's get into the tickers. And the first one, as always, is going to be Bitcoin ticker symbol BTC. As we all know, I'm just going to be populating the market cap divided by 1 million. And then, putting the price here from Friday's close, just so I keep it, the same, consistent every single week. And also, I should note too that all of these coins, for the most part, with the exception of Avalanche, I am storing them on my Trezor hardware wallets, and currently they are having a sale where you can get 50% off some of their older models, like the Model 1, which holds a lot of coins but does not hold Solana, Cardano, or XRP, so maybe that's not of interest. But they do have the Model T on sale, 50%, and then they have some of their newer models, I believe, on sale for 30% off. So might be good to check them out if you are interested in the market for a hardware wallet. There's some pros, some cons about Trezor, just like I'm sure there are pros and cons about Ledger. But yeah, just so you're aware, they do have a sale right now. But yeah, let's get into Bitcoin now. Like I said, ticker symbol BTC. And so let's just come over here to the market cap. Bitcoin, of course, being number one, although, is Ethereum potentially going to flip it? I think that there is a possibility for that in the next few years, maybe. So very interesting to see that play out. But right now, Bitcoin is king at over $2.2 trillion market cap. So let's just paste there. And we can see that Bitcoin actually came down over the past week. Looking at last week's market cap, it was 2.3 trillion. Now we are at 2.2 and some change. And so, yeah, it came down a little bit, but, really more or less flat. So not too big of a deal there. And then looking over at the chart, just making sure everything is lined up here. It looks kind of scrunched, but I think it's just because it's been consolidating for a while. And anyways, yeah, we could see that the closing price for Friday, August 22nd, Bitcoin closed at, let's see, that's the high, 116,908.68. So 116,908.68. And that also did come down over the past week. However, I am up on my position by about 24%, so feeling good about that. While it's not going to be as exciting as some of the other ones, like especially Ethereum, but that's much better than you'd get in a savings account, and that's really kind of like the basis of this thesis. And I think that over time that will be going up a lot more. And you can see my average for Bitcoin is around $94,000, doing a $40 daily DCAing, dollar cost averaging, and doing that with Strike. They're a Bitcoin only exchange, and I think that they're a great platform. But yeah, let's see. The low or the ad level was hit at 114. Trim level 135. That was not hit. But those are in red because I didn't plan to add there, and I didn't add, and I did not, and do not plan to trim at 135. Stacking Bitcoin for retirement effectively. But yeah, we could see over here over the past week that Bitcoin hit a low. It looks like on Friday the 22nd, I guess in anticipation of what Powell might say, but then he, seems to be going kind of dovish that we are likely to be getting rate cuts in September and through the end of the year. So that's just looking really good for crypto. But anyways, the low is, let's see, $111,649.75 according to the Coinbase data here. And yeah, I think that, let's see, very close to this 50% Fibonacci retracement here at $111,460.17. But I think this is really just a nice example of you always want to be rounding these numbers up for dip buys. You want to be rounding them down for trims. because, even with the spread, if this was pierced, it may not have gotten filled. So good to keep that in mind. But yeah, what's that retracement based on? That is going up to the high here. And so, yeah, I mean, we will have to see if, I should say, if, this level, gets tested again. I suspect that we will be getting close to, but not getting to 108, 369, 84. And, these numbers are going to be approximate. I don't think I have it to the penny. So, yeah, and also spread, exchange, all of that. You're not going to get the exact levels. So what I would say is my dip buy level, or maybe support, would probably be around, 111,000. Given that we got close to testing this level, we did not pierce it, and we bounced. Maybe we, shake out any weak hands here who are like, if it goes to 110, then I'm out. Or if it goes below 111, it's definitely going to 100. So I'm out, stuff like that. So I feel like there could actually be a pierce of this level, but not going all the way down to 618 here at like 108, 109, somewhere around there. So I would say the dip level is going to be around 111. We can also see that over here we do have some support in that region. So I definitely think that 111 could get filled if we do pull back to test that, but I don't think 108 or 109 would necessarily get filled. So I'm going to come over here to this weeklies tab, and I am going to adjust this number, which I've also relabeled the tops, because, whether, I want to be buying, adding, or selling, trimming, whatever, doesn't matter. This is just, support that I see, resistance that I see. And so I think I should just talk about it like that, not necessarily putting orders in, because I think I need to be a little bit more conservative with my buys now that ETH is breaking out to all-time highs. And, I think things could be getting pretty aggressive. I need to start repositioning myself to start trimming and selling rather than continuing to add. And so support there at 111. I need to make that no fill there. And I'm also going to leave it red because I don't plan on buying there. I will need to put some alerts in, so I'm going to highlight that, adjust those alerts. But let's check out resistance. I imagine that's still going to be around 135. Yeah, I mean, with Bitcoin, that's blue sky territory. So who knows exactly where that resistance could be. And the way that I try to approximate this is by doing Fibonacci retracements. And so from here, we can see this retracement. Maybe I have to actually adjust the y-axis a little bit so we can see all of those levels. So this extension, which I feel like I go over every week, based on the lows from over here from April 7th up to the high here and then the pullback, and that is the 100% extension around 135. And then over here we have this one that's also the 100% extension. And let's see, I need to make sure I click that. That goes from the low here up to this high and then over to here. Again, right around 135. If I do zoom in on the chart, let's just, try to do it like this. We can see where that pullback level is. So I have it going just a little bit below that 50%. So, maybe that's still, where it's going to go. Either way, I move this up, I move it, over to here where it was before. You see where the cursor is, lines up with the top over here approximately. And so, yeah, I mean, that will be suggesting 135. So that does make sense. I do feel good about that being resistance, which would likely be short-term resistance. So I'm going to leave that number alone. No orders placed for Bitcoin other than my daily $40 DCA. So yeah, feeling good about that. Just going to leave it alone. And before we get on to the next ticker, I'm just going to have a sip of coffee. And then now we can continue on with the coin of the hour, of the week, of the year. Ethereum, ticker symbol ETH. Very excited about this one because Ethereum did hit a new all-time high yesterday, on Friday, August 22nd. I suspect we're going to be seeing more all-time highs. So very exciting future ahead of us. So excited about that. But let's come over here to check out the coin market cap for Ethereum. The number 2, it has to go up about 3 times higher than it is right now, or 4 times, I guess, 500 billion, half a trillion times 4 to be getting up to Bitcoin's market cap. And so there is a lot of room for Ethereum to catch up, adding 3 times what it's currently to it, so 4xing up to around $2 trillion. But of course, if Ethereum is going up, Bitcoin's also probably going to be going up, but maybe not as much. So Ethereum does have a lot of room to catch up there. And as I'm sure that you guys could guess, Ethereum's market cap did go up over the past week. Last week it was $530 billion. Now it's around 570, just shy of 570 at 569. I actually feel good about that. I think it's a good omen seeing that 69 there. But yeah, then looking over at the chart here, we can see this massive green candle here for Friday, where it went up about 14% on the day. And so Friday, the 22nd, the close was at a price of $4,831.24. So 48.31.24, 48.31.24, and the price to go up. I'm almost there, guys. I'm almost there, almost at a 2x, almost at 100% up on that position. We did pull back a little bit, so I'm actually, right now a little bit less than 99% up on Ethereum, but still feeling good about that. Of course, and I am going to continue doing the daily dollar cost average at $40. I'm going to keep it like that, kind of thinking, at some point I should probably lower that. But my thesis really, or my thought process with Bitcoin and Ethereum, is that once Bitcoin gets back to its all-time highs, which is like 124, then I'd reduce this down to 30, maybe a little bit lower. And at that time, maybe I do the same with Ethereum and then focus more on some of the alts that haven't run. I'm not really sure. I need to think about that. Also need to balance, what I'm spending money on in the real world as well. So generally feeling good about Ethereum. The dip buy, or the ad level that I had, was at 3,800, which I don't believe we pierced. We hit a low, it looks like, let's see. It's that moving average that's down there. That's why the axis is like that. And so maybe I could just, there we go, get that to go away. Well above the 200-day moving average, which I will want to bring back for other charts. But yeah, we can see that the low over here, Wednesday, August 20th, the low was 4,062.24. That was the low for the week. And so right around 4,000, didn't get quite to 3,771. Cough. Excuse me. So that's kind of where I got that 3,800. Maybe we could still be pulling back to that. This could be, consolidating like that. And also speaking about Ethereum, I should probably just mention this just to get it out of the way, because I am going to forget. This is a great video from Altcoin Daily that came out yesterday. Really just Tom Lee talking about Ethereum, having this like kind of 1971 moment when we went off of the gold standard. The US dollar went off of the gold standard. And that really kind of changed like financial markets, structures, all of this. And so we're effectively doing that, moving into this Ethereum or tokenized, blockchain ecosystem. And so I think that's really cool. So I'll link that video down below. Also going to link a video to this from Crypto Wendio. I've known about her for a while, just recently subscribed, trying to support YouTubers. And, I think she has great content, great perspective. And she just goes over a bunch of alts and really doesn't get into the memes. It seems like she wants to avoid those. So I think, very responsible there. And then let's see. Coming down, we also have this one. I will go over Chainlink in a little bit, and then also this video here. This is Sheldon's show from Crypto Banter. I initially didn't really like him, but he's just great communicator. I think that his thought process is really good, really clean, and he's just a very animated character, which, I think is kind of why I was reluctant to get into his content initially. But yeah, I think that he's just a really good, clear thinker. So I'll include a link to all of those videos down below so you can check them out. Sorry for that little interruption, but, just want to be kind of sharing, what's getting me excited. Hopefully it's helpful for you guys. But yeah, Ethereum pumping right here, looking really good. With that pumping to a new all-time high, I am going to have to redraw this Fibonacci retracement, just going up to that all-time high, which I'm probably going to have to adjust this next week again. But that 3,800, right there, I do think that we could be coming down to it. So it's something like this, or maybe, what I want to do. I don't really do parallel channels that much, but that's probably what I want to do here. Let's see, parallel channel. Get this over here, something like that, and then up to the top. We have broken out from that. Maybe we, let's see, let's doodle a little bit. Maybe we do something like that. Man, those arrows, the arrows on this just kind of suck. And so I think I need to adjust the style of that, because it's like, why is that? There we go. That's a little bit better. Maybe I just need to get better at my drawing skills. But yeah, it could pull back to that and go higher, or, it could, maybe do something like this. And then it breaks out. So I don't know. I'll probably have to delete those because it's going to be too cluttered. But yeah, just think about it like that. This could be support down there. That is right around 3,800. So I'm just going to leave that. I don't plan on buying it, as you can see here, but just going to leave it alone. Resistance for Ethereum still at 5,100. Let's take a look. 5,100 up here. This is going to be a Fibonacci retracement based on the low from here up to the high. This is June 22nd, and then going up here to July 28th, pulling back to, it looks like the lows there, so I don't really need to adjust that. And so, yeah, 5,100, don't need to adjust that. I think that seems totally fine. If I do pull back, we could see there's the 1618 there. That's around 6,200, but we're not there yet. We're going to have to wait for that. So initially 5,100. Going to leave that alone. And so I don't have orders placed on either of these because I am doing the $40 daily DCAs. Yeah, I was thinking daily DCAs, the double D kind of confuses me, but the second D is for dollar cost average, not daily. But yeah, let's check out the next one. Speaking of Ds, on the list, that is going to be Dogecoin, ticker symbol DOGE, as we all know. Let's check out the market cap for Doge. That is going to be ranked number 8 here, just above Ed's head at a market cap of around $35 billion. So paste that in there. Did it go up? It went up over the past week. So last week, the market cap was just above, I should say, $34 billion, and now it's went up about $1 billion, about $1 billion. And yeah, so that's good. And let's see, now we want to look at the price. So coming back over here to this Ethereum chart, and let's see. So Dogecoin, and there's actually an experiment I might do just to see if I pull it up on Coinbase. So I'm going to remove myself for a second because I want to see if we're going to get a dancing Doge if I do select this. Sometimes there's a little dancing Doge over here on the Coinbase data, but it's not there. That's too bad. And so, yeah, I'm just going to come back to the Binance data because that's where I've done my charting for Dogecoin. And we could see, pretty big move yesterday, 11.5% up yesterday on the 22nd with a close on Friday of 23.96. So let's, and I need to bring myself back. There we go. And so over here, this is going to be 23.96. Is that what I said? 23.96. Yep. And so with that, I'm up about 35% on that position. I did buy, although I did not dip buy. And so that put my average now up to around 17.77 cents. My buy corresponding with the buy of RLC to keep Doge above it on this risk list here. It was $105, and I bought that just above 22 cents. I could have gotten closer to 20, but it is what it is. Not really that big of a deal. Yeah, I mean, that level, I don't know if the alert went off because, let's see, Doge, what was the low over? The low was 2081, so nope, did not go off. Let's see, 2089 over here, 2090, yeah, so 2081, so that level was not hit 20 cents, although that would have been, a good level to add at, good at least to be patient, wait for sub 22 cents, sub 21 cents, but, it is what it is. Just happy to not be putting this more speculative one above Doge. So fine with that. And yeah, let's actually look at 20 cents. Do I still think I think that was kind of hit, but we do need to maybe actually don't need to adjust this Fibonacci retracement. It is going up to the high there, so that's good. But we did pierce this. So yeah, I would say still 20 cents. Maybe it'd be coming down to like the 618, but not quite. But maybe like pierce that. So yeah, I'm just going to leave that at 20 cents, but 31. Let's see, do I want to adjust that? Which again, not a trim level, just a resistance level. I think that Doge, could be getting very close to $1. So, and before I forget, 200-day moving average. So we got that. We did get a fake out break below it, nearly got to it. Maybe we get a final test of it around 20 cents before then going higher, as I do have doodled there. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Maybe it does end up lining up with what the price action does, but just not getting all the way down to that 200-day moving average. So 31 cents, that's what I want to look at. And so we can see, this resistance or this support from the past over here, that would then, I imagine, be flipping to some resistance moving forward. And I would think that that's going to be based on, Fibonacci extension from the low here to the high and then down to here. And let's see, is that what this is based on? Yes. Okay, so yeah, that's around 33 cents, 31. I would just leave 31 because I think that it will probably consolidate a little bit there, and just, to kind of have it drawn up here. It does look like, hey, maybe we're breaking out of this, little wedge here. And so, maybe we do pull back down to here. Maybe we do a little something like that. I need to remove the arrowhead because I just don't really like it. I can draw better arrows myself. And so that would be like this. Actually, maybe I can't. But yeah, you guys can get the picture there. That is what I'm thinking could be happening with Doge if it does pull back. But I could see it, just continuing up and maybe getting to around 31 cents. So fine with that. I will leave that one alone. So no changes needed there. Although over here I am going to adjust. I'm going to need to adjust the daily, or not the daily, the dip corresponding with if I do an addition to RLC. So I think I'm about $7 above RLC, but Robinhood, which is where I buy Doge, it tends to kind of round down. So I would probably want this to be, if I'm $7 above, I can subtract 7 from 100. So that put me at 93, but then maybe round up. So this would be like $94 dip buy, corresponding with a dip in RLC. So that is one that I might need to place. But I don't have it yet, and I'm fine to not do that. But we're really going to have to learn about what I think iExec or ticker symbol RLC might be doing if that is going to be dipping, where I should be buying at if it does. And let's before I get into the data over here, let's look at the market cap for RLC. Going to be lowest on the list here, ranked number 450 coin market cap, with the market cap around 76 million, not billion dollars. And let's just look at that. Did go up over the past week, was 71. Now it is 76, so went up by about $5 million, really not that much. And let's check out the chart. RLC, US dollar on Coinbase. Okay, so over here we can see that the closing price on Friday, August 22nd, was $1.701. So 10701. Oops. And so that did go up over the past week. But I'm not going to flip back to see it. And it did dip to my buy level at 95.51 cents. And I did get that fill there. I'm going to just make that yellow now so I don't forget in case, I do want to make an addition. I am still 33% down with my average at 59 cents. Last week I was at 63 cents. Now I'm at 159. So want to keep getting that down, and then once I get to break even, take some profits once I get above break even. But yeah, let's think about the levels that it could be going to. What was the low last week? And so the low since let's see, Saturday was over here. Looks like the low for the week was hit on Monday, August 18th. That was at 93.29 cents. So, I could have gotten it a little bit cheaper, but maybe I wouldn't have gotten a fill. So I think that is, fine. And where could I see this coming down to? If it does come down lower, it is coming up to like the 200-day moving average there around 112. So that could be some notable resistance. Also, we got this little ad here for Trezor wallets. It does, if I get Ed to step out of the way, you can see that those are on sale. Trezor Model 1, I do have one of them, but it doesn't hold XRP, Solana, or Cardano, so I got a Trezor Safe 3, but this is normally $49. You can get it on sale for $24.50, so pretty cool there. Just wanted to share that. And let's see, bringing Ed back. I also realized I had the Doge Detective, but I didn't really dive too much into Doge, so don't use them anymore. But anyways, yes, RLC, thinking about that. Where could this be pulling back to if it does pull back some more? So we got this retracement going up to the high here. We did pull down to between the 618 at around $1, down to the 786 around 90 cents. Did pierce that down here. Kind of got a break below the $1 mark here. And so that makes me think that this could be pulling back to, putting in higher lows, that this could be pulling back down to right around, $1, maybe breaking a little bit below it. So I think that $1, maybe I want to do 99 because it did go below my level last time, and it'd be nice to be getting below $1. So maybe 99 cents, like this wicks below the 618 there at 99.47 cents, comes down to test this uptrend, and then it breaks out above that 200-day moving average. So I'm going to say that my dip buy level for RLC is going to be 99 cents. I am going to need to adjust the alert on that, and I will need to place an order. And, through kind of some experimentation, exploring Coinbase Advanced, I can place limit buy orders with using USDC. So I'll have to do that with RLC there at 99 cents. But let's consider the resistance, $2.30. Do I still think that is going to be resistance? I mean, 112, I think that's going to be resistance, but that's below my average. So I don't really want to sell there or trim there. But if it does go up to, let's see, 230, where do I have that? What do I have that based on? Let's see, that is going to be 230 right around here. That's going to be the low from August 5th of 2024 up to the high here of December 6th or so of 2024, and then back down to the lows over here, just extended into the future. Also have this yellow downtrend, and those intersect right around 230. So I still think that is going to be a notable level of resistance. I have that highlighted because I don't have a sell order, a trim order placed there. And with that being said, I should make this red for Doge because I don't really plan on trimming there. What I was doing is I would, buy on the exchange, move to my hardware wallet, and then I'd move whatever I want to sell back to the exchange. That's just kind of a pain. Like I see these going up a lot higher, so I think I should just be a little bit more patient for trimming and just consider resistance, and then I can do more higher volume exits, trims, whatever, rather than just doing little nibbles out or stuff like that. So yeah, 230, I think it's fine, but I will need to place the order there, and so that's actually going to stay highlighted. But actually, maybe let's see. Okay, so I'm not going to have order. I would still need to leave that highlighted, I think, but I can make this not highlighted. It's just black, so I know that that is a level I would actually want to trim at. But I could hold Doge a little bit longer, feel more comfortable about that. So yeah, 99 cents there. I feel like that's good. Okay, and let's see. This next one's going to be a little more interesting, I think, but I'm just going to have some more coffee before we get into it. Also might have a little bit of water. All right. Yeah, so this next one, Ethereum Classic, ticker symbol ETC. This is one I am going to adjust my position size on, and I'll get into the reason why based on the videos that I did go over when I was talking about Ethereum. Yeah, so maybe I'll pull those up as I do talk about that. But let's first populate the market cap for Ethereum Classic. It's going to be like rank 34 right here, just above Ed's head. And so it's about $3.6 billion. And so let's come back over here, paste that in. And it did go up over the past week. It was about 3.3 billion, almost 3.4. Now it's almost 7. So it did go up by hundreds of millions of dollars. So pretty nice there. But then let's come back to look at the chart, Ethereum Classic, and the US dollar on Coinbase. All right, so we can see, looking at this chart, that, ETC did have a great day yesterday, going up 16.4%. And I'm just going to do a little bit of a comparison between that and Ethereum. How much did Ethereum go up yesterday? 14.3, whereas Ethereum Classic went up 16. So it went up a little bit more, but did not hit all-time highs, as you can see. So it's kind of different. Yeah, so I'll get into that in a minute. Let's just first get the closing price from Friday, August 22nd, which was $24.47. So $24.47 right there. Looks like I'm up about 13% of my position. I did dip buy at a price of $21. Glad I did that. Just $7 though, so it's not huge, not a big deal, not too concerned about it. Let's see. Ethereum Classic. This is very high up on the list, and really coming back to these videos that I had mentioned. Specifically thinking about Sheldon's videos, he has talked about Doge, about Link, Chainlink there. Also, you see this one from Coin Bureau just above Chainlink. And, I feel like I'm very intrigued by Chainlink. I'm also intrigued by Solana and Cardano. I don't have very large positions there, though. You can see Cardano's down here, Link's down here, and let's see, Solana, it's higher up, but not as high up as, Ethereum Classic. And really just thinking about Ethereum Classic, I don't really hear too much about it, and I feel like one to compare it to is kind of like Litecoin, which I believe Ethereum Classic was like the OG Ethereum, I believe. And then there was a fork, and from that fork is where Ethereum came from. Whereas I think Litecoin was a fork used to test some stuff, and just kind of became its own thing. I think that Litecoin's very easy to transfer. I also think it has quick, easy, cheap to transfer, better than Bitcoin in that sense. And also it has a really nice account on X. Very funny, nice memes, not a lot of character. I don't really see that with Ethereum Classic. So it's like, why is Ethereum Classic so high up here when I don't hear anything about it? And so maybe that's because I wasn't following their X account. So I just started following them to see if maybe there's something there that I'm missing, but I don't really think I've been missing much. So I feel like this should be moved down the list. So what I'm going to do, I've already moved some of my position out of, let's see, my hardware wallet, and I plan on trimming so I can then rotate some of that cash into other tokens, which I feel like will be Solana, Cardano, and Chainlink, but maybe I'll change that based on what we see in the charts here. But yeah, I mean, I really just want to be trimming at, at least 10% profit, which is, really not that much. But I do want to be taking out about $300. And so what I might do is, just so that's clear that, actually, yeah, no, red, taking it out. Yeah, that's fine. So I think I need to take out about $300. It's probably going to be a little bit different than that depending on what I sell it at. And so, yeah, and that will be, with some profit. But yeah, I mean, it's too high up on the list. Even if I take $300 out, it's still going to be above, Litecoin. It's still going to be above Solana. So I think that's kind of, responsible. I need to be managing that risk, and I do have a lot of cash in crypto, and I need to start focusing more on, cash that's not in crypto, what I'm doing with that. I need to be spending money on some other things. So I think this is kind of a way to, balance that. So I'm not going to be adding to Ethereum Classic, but we can still talk about a level that might be acting as support. So just come over here to this. And so I had 21 that was filled last week, but could it be coming back down to it? I mean, yeah, we got the 200-day moving average here that was tested. Maybe it gets tested again, or maybe it nearly gets tested, coming down to around $19 or $20. And let's just make sure that this retracement is still, yep, up to the high here. So yeah, and I guess that doodle, I'll delete that doodle in a minute, but it looks like I was wrong about that. Yeah, I'd say like 20 cents, sorry, $20. That could be, you know, a level of support. Actually, no, I mean, what's the 200-day moving average? That's 19, you know, I think 19. So, you know, could be pulling down to the right. But yeah, we want to talk about what was the low for last week. It looks like on the 20th, on Wednesday, 2042. Yeah, so, I mean, to be honest, I don't necessarily think it would be coming down to the 200-day moving average. I don't necessarily think it would be coming down to this 50% retracement. I think that it could be getting close to it. Or maybe it does come down to the 50% retracement, but then you don't get a fill at 19 because this is at 1934. So yeah, I think that 20 is the level that would be acting as support. As of right now, I'm not going to place a buy order there. Maybe next week I would. But for this upcoming week, I don't. I do need to adjust that alert. And as far as orders go, I'm not going to be placing one to trim or to dip buy other than, you know, just taking out that $300 to move into some other coins. And so here, so from this resistance at 28, do I still feel like that? So we did get up to the high yesterday on the 22nd of 25.48, kind of like a triple top here, you know, consolidating there, which does make me think that it could really be breaking out to the upside. And so with that, we do have, you know, this Fibonacci extension, and that comes down to, I could actually lower this a little bit to get to that. And so that would be around $30. So, you know, what was it before? Yeah, still, oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? I was doing a Shift Z. I need to do Command Y. Oh, not that. Okay. There we go. And let's see. Yeah, so kind of like stair stepping up, you know, putting in higher lows. So we kind of want to see that, but maybe we get, you know, a fake out break and then it goes higher. But then, yeah, going up to like 30. But maybe this 1618. No, I mean, I think I should probably adjust that to 30. You know, I think that's, I think that seems fine because, I mean, this, let's see. Yeah, we did hit broke through that one there, the 100%. So yeah, I mean, I think I should just, you know, we want to be moving forward. We want this analysis to be continuing forward. Also, you know, we have maybe I want to go with this. Nope. Well, the red line, that's where we're at, 25. We got this consolidation here. So this was support, gets flipped to resistance. But then up here, this, you know, this would be like the breakout territory. You know, we're consolidating here and then here around 28. That would be, you know, there's resistance here where there's this consolidation, all that price action. There would then be sellers in this, you know, range. People who bought here, it came down, gets back to their level. They trim a little bit at break even. And so we wouldn't be getting, you know, to like once we get past that, then it could really move. And then I think it could be getting up to around 30, also being a psychological level, whole $10 number. And then that would be also corresponding with kind of the lows over here. So I think 30 is actually the resistance that I would be looking for with that. I'll leave it as, you know, black because maybe I would trim then, maybe I would sell a little bit of my position, but I'm not going to place any orders with it. Yeah, as far as the dip buy goes, if it does go up to that, then I would, you know, based on the alert. So maybe what I want to do is, let's see. How do I want to do this? This is order. I mean, because 2031, I don't have an order with that. So maybe what I want to do is just, you know, based on alerts. So I should probably change this to the alert. And I can just do the bell there. And so that is, do I have an order? No, but maybe I want to trim if it goes up to this level. And so maybe with that being said, resistance, yeah, no, I want that to go higher, but no, I mean, I don't want to trim Doge at 31 cents. I'm sorry. I would trim Ethereum Classic at $30 though. So yeah, I mean, I think that's good. I need to, if the alert goes off, then I would place an order. That's what that means. Maybe what I should do is make a key here for this. Maybe I'll do that next week. So I'll just put over here key. And, actually, maybe I could just do it right now real quick. And so this is going to be alerts and orders placed. Let's see. This may be an OCD. Alerts and orders placed. And this is alerts and or orders not placed. And then this is going to be not placing orders. And this is going to be will place order if alert goes off. And this, there we go. All right, so that's my little key there. And, I'm rambling too much. I always try to make these videos shorter, but then I just end up rambling and stuff. But I need to be sharing, for myself, I need to be going through my thought process, and I just end up sharing it in these videos. So yeah, I do need to adjust that. Yeah, so there's that. And 30, yeah. So I've got that justification there. $300 trim, and it's going to be approximately $300. Really, I just want it to be, 10% up. So whatever 10% of that is, whatever. I'm not gonna worry about it. But yeah, let's go on to the next one on the list, which is going to be Ondo, ticker symbol ONDO. Let's check out the market cap for Ondo. Going to be ranked number 38 here at $3.15 billion. Now let's see, did that go up over the past week? It actually came down. So Ondo was 3156 last week, and now it's 3513 this week. Let's look at the price action because I'm kind of surprised by that. So Ondo USD on Coinbase. Okay, so let's pull that up. Has pulled back a little bit. It was up here. Now it goes up, consolidates. But yeah, yesterday went up over 10%, closing the day at 10107. I feel like I was just talking about this. Crazy. Look, 10701. I got to pull up RLC because that's just like really weird. What was the close yesterday? See, I just think it's weird. 10701. Now Ondo, the close yesterday was 10107. Super weird, but it is what it is. I don't know. My average is 89 cents, up about 14% with Ondo. I did do a dip buy, $7 worth at about 96 cents. So that level was hit. We will talk about that. But what I'm going to be doing, just because I want to be, kind of like less aggressive with these, and because I can do Ondo through Robinhood now, I am just going to do, $1 dip buy if a level gets hit, and then maybe I can be more aggressive if, and maybe I want to do $1. Yeah, I'll just leave it like that, and I'll make it yellow. Oops, did not change there. So yeah, just $1, nothing too crazy. And yeah, so let's look at the chart, the 96 cents, kind of evaluate, the low that we hit. So over here, 89 cents, the 50% retracement, 89,632. That is based on the top here for that retracement, so that looks good. And so what we've done, very cool, I'm just going to doodle it out. So we did go up here, And we broke above the 200-day moving average, pulled back, did break below the 200-day moving average, broke above, and then we just barely broke below it now. So I wonder if this could be pulling back to test that 200-day moving average before going up. See, that's a better arrow. So that resistance level, I would think, would be around 94 cents. Let's see, the low over here was 89.135 cents. So 94. I think 94 is going to be the dip buy level for that. And so this one, I'll make that yellow. I do need to adjust alerts, and I do need to place the order, and so that would just be for $1, very nothing. And actually, no, I mean, maybe I don't want to do $1 dip buys, because then if I buy, $1 worth, I would then want to move my position off exchange. It's just $1. Why do I want to do that? It's just kind of annoying. So, no, what I think I want to do is, if it does go down, I should maybe do may place order if alert goes off. May place order if alert goes off. And so that would be there. And so, yeah, I mean, I think 94, I need to adjust the alert for that because I did move that down. And support, I mean, I adjusted this so that alert needs to, alerts and or orders not placed. Yeah, so that needs to be like that. But yeah, I don't think that I want to do this. So I think I might just actually leave that blank. Yeah. Maybe I want to do a think emoji. Yeah, I think about it. But I'm not going to do it just yet. Okay, so 94 cents. And 138 is a level that might be resistance. So 138, where do I see that? Over here. That is based on this extension coming back down to, it looks like the lows over here. So yeah, I mean, that seems legit, 138. But what does that correspond with? Lots of meat here, lots of consolidation there. That I would think there'd be some consolidation over here on the upside. So yeah, 138, I think that's still good. Maybe I consider it, So yeah, I mean, all of this stuff, I got to think about it, but I don't think I want to be just, throwing dollar bills at this, individual dollar bills. It's just not too exciting. And I think I can just think about it, assess the situation, but yeah, I don't need to be accumulating $1 of these coins in the exchange and then to just not do anything with them. So yeah, I mean, I think I'm good to not dip buy unless, it breaks down below my average, which this would be not even breaking down below my average if it came to 94 cents because my average is 89 cents. So not too worried about that. But yeah, the next one on the list is going to be a Loopring, ticker symbol LRC. And so let's check out the market cap for LRC, ranked number 325 on the list here, so a pretty small one, although above $100 million market cap at 124.5. So this is actually in around to 125. And we can see that it did go down over the past week, which I'm kind of surprised by. LRC was 136 last week. Now it's like 125. What's the price from yesterday? LRC, not to be confused with RLC. And let's see, US dollar on Coinbase. And so we can see over here that the closing price from Friday the 22nd was 9.33 cents, so 9.33, and it looks like price did go up, although the market cap went down. It's just going to be, based on, where it, market cap pulled back price from yesterday was higher. So that makes sense. That's why there's that difference there. And there might be some other reasons though too. But yeah, it looks like my average is around 10 cents. I'm down about 5%. I did dip by at $100 or $100 worth at, it looks like, a price of 8.7 cents. So let's check out over here what the low was. So the low for last week, let's just make sure. Yep. The low was on Friday, so yesterday the 22nd, at 8.32 cents. It does look like it is respecting this uptrend, so I think that's looking good. It did break below, excuse me, did break below the 50% retracement, which is around 8.9 cents. So that's why I had the 8.7. No, I mean, I had a little bit lower. I probably just thinking that it might test this uptrend. It might test the uptrend again. Especially, I mean, we got the 200-day moving average above us, almost got to it here, pierced it here, but quickly got rejected. Now maybe we go up a little bit higher before getting rejected again, and then maybe we pull back to that 50% retracement around 8.9 cents. So, where is it at now? I think that 8.9 cents could be tested again. Could maybe come down to like 8.8, 8.7 again. Let's see. What was that low? 8.3. Yeah, so 8.7. Let's see, over the course of the next week. So where is Saturday on this trend line? That's 8.8. So, I mean, really, I think it could pierce 8.7 again. So maybe I just want to leave that. 8.7. It is highly speculative. Because I'm not much lower. I'm only 5% lower than my average. So I just wait for 8.7 again. I'll do that. And, I will have to place an alert on there. And, but let's also consider the resistance now. And actually support. I need to place the order. That's why it's yellow. But support has not changed. The alert, again, no change. Don't need to change that. And the resistance, like I'm saying, 12 cents. What's that based on? That's up here, Fibonacci extension from the low of June 22nd up to this high here, July 21st, and then down to the lows of August 2nd, lining up right there. That 100% move is around 12 cents. So yeah, I mean, I still think that is the resistance level. And, I'm going to make this yellow because I don't need to adjust that. I'm not going to, let's see, orders. I need to place the order. Alerts and or orders not placed. I need to make this yellow because there's an alert, but there's no order placed here. And so that's why those two need to be yellow. Because if it goes up there, then, move on to the exchange and then, trim. And I can actually move these pretty quick. These are, I believe RLC is an ERC20 token, and LRC I think is a layer 2, which is not an ERC20 token. I'm not really sure. But yeah, I mean, I think that both of these could go a lot higher. So I'm not really stressed about time or anything like that. So I think that's fine. But yeah, I do think that it will have some resistance around the 200-day, but it could, bounce up and do something like that. So that's, $100. Yeah, that's fine. And for all of these though, I still need to be making them, like Bitcoin orange, because I don't have, actually, no, this I could place an order. This I could place an order. But this one, I would then have to place the order if this one goes off. So I would need to make this one, Bitcoin orange, because I need to take an action to do that, whereas these I can place them. So I think that's good. And so I think this is, where things are going to get a little bit more exciting because of that repositioning of my Ethereum Classic. I think I want to buy some Solana. $100 worth, maybe, just dip buy or not, doesn't really matter. I just want to have more exposure to Solana than, like Ethereum Classic, or I think that's how I should weight things. But I'm not going to do it all at once. But yeah, anyways, let's start talking about Solana, ticker symbol SOL. Looking at the market cap, scrolling up here, I believe it's number 6. Is that right? Yep, number 6, 109 billion. And we can just copy and paste that over here. And it did go up over the past week, was at 102 billion and now 109. And we can see that for Solana, that not the futures. Want to look at it US dollars on Coinbase. We can see that the closing price from Friday the 22nd was $262. And let's see, $262, 262. So that did go up. I'm about 34% up. And so, I was thinking, why would I want to roll some profits from something I'm up only 13 or 10% up on into something that I'm 34% up on? And so this really comes to, my appreciation for this video from Sheldon, in talking about, and, he streams 5 days a week at least, just really nice analysis. Things have moved up, but we're now at a point where things are really going to be breaking out and start to go vertical. And so now is the time to really adjust positions for, the risk, things going up or things maybe not going up so much. And so with, let's see, Ethereum Classic, I just don't know about that. But at the same time, it's like, well, if I'm still daily buying Ethereum when I'm up almost 100% on it, 2x, if I'm still adding to that, why would I not want to add to something that I'm like 34% up on? If I believe in it and I just want to have more exposure to it, I think that's good. And arguably, there's a lot less risk adding to something, small additions to something that I'm up 100% on, than adding to something that I'm down 5% on because I'm negative with that. Maybe it never gets to break even. Whereas this one, even if it comes down, I'd still be making money, even if I'm adding. So it's not a big deal there. And so with this, I think that I need to roll, $300 or $100 of that 300 into Solana. And it doesn't really matter what the price is. I just want to have more exposure to it. I want to rebalance. And so maybe I wait for Ethereum Classic to go up to 20% profit, but then by that time, Sol is now at 50%. So it's well, I shouldn't have waited. I should have just trimmed, rolled that into here. And so, yeah, that's, kind of how I'm thinking about that. And my average is 149.49. It's currently around $200. I could have some more exposure to it. I feel like I'm much more confident in Ethereum than I am with Solana. And the number one reason for that, which some people may not like, but Ethereum's not had any downtime. Solana's had some downtime. Solana might be able to move have more transactions per second than Ethereum, but Ethereum is tried and true. And so I do think that Solana will have a lot of utility in the future, but I still think it needs to earn, that rise up. Ethereum's earned it by having zero downtime. Solana needs to go, a year with zero downtime or, whatever time span. Just because, why do you want to have however many millions of transactions per second if then, it's down for a weekend or it's down for the night, then you can have 0 transactions per second. So if you consider that, Ethereum has more transactions per second because it's never had a 0 transactions per second moment, whereas Solana has. But I do think there's utility there. I am invested in tokens that are on Solana, like Trump, like PENGU. So, yeah, I mean, I think that is, justifiable for me to be building up more of a position there in Solana. I do think it will run more. I do have more confidence in them, but not as much as Ethereum, but not as much as even Doge, or some of these speculative ones, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I should be moving it up. So, the dip buy for Solana, unfortunately, was not hit. And so I actually do need to remove that buy order. I had a $7 buy order there. So that was not filled. So I need to remove that. And $100 here to add at whatever price, whether it's above 200 or not, doesn't matter. My average is down here, just getting more exposure. Same thing like what I'm doing with ETH. And this is actually, kind of less risky because I'm only up 34%, whereas with ETH, I'm up 100% effectively. But yeah, enough rambling. So my dip buy level was 169. What was the low over the past week? So on Tuesday the 19th, it looks like we hit a low for Solana of 175.65. So my level was not hit. And we can look at, let's see, this retracement going up to the highs there. So I think that's still good. I'm probably just going to add the, the 236, just going to make that purple. And so we did pierce that. That was at 183, definitely pierced that. That would have gotten a fill. So maybe this comes back down a little bit. I do have this green uptrend here, which I find pretty interesting, that maybe we could be pulling back to that. And so for me, it does look like, up big green candle, a little bit of a smaller candle. So far, the day's not over yet. Smaller volume. Again, the day's not over yet. But this could be suggesting just a little bit of a cool off before continuation, because you have a big candle, large volume, small candle, smaller volume. So there's no divergence there. It does seem like it's healthy. We do have lower highs here. Lower highs in the RSI, lower highs in the volume. So again, no divergence there. So that does seem good. But we do have, a little bit of, some resistance here. And so, yeah, I think that could be pulling back. And I would say that would be pulling back to around like 190. And so maybe for Solana, maybe, with this experiment, maybe what I just want to do is do a $100 limit dip buy. I don't know that it'd get filled. That's the thing. I don't know that it would get filled if I placed it because of whatever spread, because of whatever fees, hidden fees, whatever they are at 190. So, yeah, I think that's like, I should just do this rotation. Yeah, and also we can draw this something. It's a little bit wonky, but yeah, right there, I should do it like that. Oh, well, there we go. And yeah, a little bit wonky, but trend line support there, could be pulling back to that. But yeah, like 190, I feel like is a level that could be tested again. And, maybe this is an example of like, maybe I want to have more conviction in my analysis. Maybe I should have more conviction in my analysis. I was a little too greedy last week though. So maybe there's something there as well that I should not be so greedy. So I'm adjusting this to 190. And am I going to have an order there? I don't know. Maybe just considering like the spread and stuff, maybe I want to do 191. And maybe I want to do a limit buy there. Because, yeah, we also have like CME gaps formed over the weekend, a little bit to the downside. Well, because, yeah, this would have been I'm not exactly sure, but I could see this. Yeah, I mean, like this, going up and down, like this is, I'll doodle it out. Oh, well, crap. I think that this could be doing something like this. So that's like, round it up to 191. And yeah, okay, so I think 191, I'd have an alert there. And so if that alert goes off and my order's not getting filled, maybe I get a little bit antsy. And then, I just place the order. So have the alert, and that can maybe kind of help me to just go with it. Yeah, so I think that that's good. Alert, if the alert goes off, then just place the order. If I'm like at work, if I'm busy, the alert goes off, I don't notice it, and then maybe it gets filled, maybe it doesn't, that's fine. And then when I'm not busy at work, if it wasn't filled, then I just place it below $200. So I'd be happy about that. Order, do you need to place that order? And I will do this as, a dip buy. I think that that's fine. The whole reason why I'm doing these videos is to go over this analysis, to think, to go through my thought process. And so, yeah, I mean, 191 seems like, good level. But then let's think about the resistance, 217. That is based on this fib extension going from the low of, let's see, April 7th up to, let's see, the high over here on May 23rd, and then down to like this low over here. Just drag forward into the future. And so that's like 217, but do I think that that's like really, going to be resistance? Because, it's like, I think that there's a lot of resistance where we're currently at, because you got all this, consolidation, this sideways price action here, and then, really once we get up to 217, I feel like there's just going to be a lot less resistance once we get up to there. And so I feel like actually the more likely level of resistance would be this prior resistance at like 260, somewhere around there. And we can actually, let's see, do I have the 1618 on this? I just have the one, let's look at the 1618. That's around 274. So I think that like 260, that's totally reasonable for that to be acting as some resistance, and then that would be like, a level to more aggressively, trim at. And that's also going to be like getting towards all-time highs. Although I think that Solana could be getting towards all-time highs. So yeah, I mean, I think that, if I'm framing this as like where I want to trim, maybe I'd trim a little bit at 217. But if I'm thinking about this, like, where is there actually going to be some notable resistance? I actually don't think 217 would be notable resistance, because you've got like I'll just draw a box around it. Let's see, how can I draw a box? Maybe a shape tool. I'm not too familiar with geometric shapes. I'll just do a little rectangle here. So it's like, we got, all of this price action here. Now let's just go on this time frame. All of this price action, that's going to be a good amount of resistance, I think. Once we get up to here, yeah, then it's probably going to have to consolidate there before breaking out around 260. But like once it gets up to here, to this midpoint, let's see, I move that down. It's like there's all of this, we're above that, and then it's only like this much. Actually, maybe it's like a halfway point, Well, because what I could really see is it, going like, because do we want to be trimming before it breaks out? Or like, this is what I could see happening. I'll draw this out. I guess I gotta, just going to delete this. Oh, I mean, I just drew that. Yeah, so I should probably leave that there. But what I could see is based on, this over here, maybe what I want to do is do something like that. Okay. And so I could see that, yeah, maybe it bumps into a little bit of resistance there, but what would seem more likely to me is that would it go up here, get rejected from here, attempt to consolidate, but then break down and then sweep out, any weak hands before then going higher. So that seems a little bit more compelling to me. And so I feel like selling at 217, that would be when it'd break out. And then it'd be like, oh man, I missed it. Then buy up here. And then it pulls back down to 217. So that's actually not a level to be trimming at. That's a level to be holding through, trim at 260, and then buy back at 217, maybe 220 on a pullback. That makes more sense to me if we're thinking about this from a perspective of resistance and not trimming. And so I'm going to say this is like 260 is what I said. So I need to adjust that. Maybe I would trim there, but this would be like, an alert type of scenario. And like all of these may place order if alert goes off. Yeah, so I need to place the alerts that's marked here. That, can just be fine there. Okay. Yeah, but 260. And is that getting into, that's not even getting into blue sky territory, because that would be getting up to like the all-time high over here, I believe, on January of 2025 was 295. Didn't even get to 300. So yeah, I think 260 is cool. I like this thought process. I think that makes a lot of sense. So, but yeah. Support 190. But then I'd round up by $1. Yeah, and then maybe I'd get a fill higher. So I think that's good. I like that. Okay, so there's that. And I'm just going to save, and let's continue on to the next one, which is going to be Litecoin, ticker symbol LTC. Great account to follow on X if you want some engagement. Also, I think it's a really nice token for, it moving cheaply, fastly, efficiently. And so Litecoin is going to be ranked number 19 here at a market cap of like 9.2 nearly billion dollars. And so that did go up over the course of the past week. It was at just above 9 billion. Now it's almost at 9.2 billion. And let's check out the chart for Litecoin. And that's going to be on Coinbase, US dollar. And the closing price from yesterday up 7%, over 7% on the day. The closing price 122.93. So 122.93. And it looks like I'm up about 24% on that. I did get a dip by fill for $7 at 114, which did increase my average. But my average is, below $100. So that's good. 99.41, up 24%. Like I said, $7 dip buy. I'm, just going to be considering this, think about it. It is pretty high up on the list, above Cardano, above Chainlink. So, I would just think about, adding if it does come lower. But let's consider that 114 that I have over here. What was the low for the week? What did I nail that level? And so let's see, the low for the 19th on Tuesday was 112.22. I don't think I got a fill then. Or maybe I did get a fill then. But, there's kind of a spread with Litecoin, so maybe that's not such a great aspect of this token, of this coin. The low over here, 112.47. The low over here, 112.09 on the 20th, on Wednesday. And so, yeah, that was a break below the 236. And so, yeah, I guess, this is putting in higher lows. The 200-day moving average is down around 98.27. Maybe this comes down to the 382 at like 107, but I don't think I'd get a fill at 107. So I want to round that up. So I would think that like the support, if it does come lower, what was the low over here? I mean, I could just leave it at, 114. Yeah, maybe I want to do a trend line from like here. And just, yeah, something like that. I don't know. I mean, did you say 114? I think that this would probably still be putting in higher lows. 114, I don't know that that would get a fill. But it could, sweep. It could break the trend of higher lows, shake people out, get them to panic. And, but I don't think it'd come down to 107, not necessarily. And with that being said, I don't know that like 110 would necessarily get filled, but maybe like 112 would. So considering like the fill and all of that, I think 112 is probably the level that I think would get filled. You place an order at 112, it goes down to 110, 112 gets filled. It comes down to 108, it gets filled, but 107 doesn't. 108 doesn't. 110 would, but maybe it doesn't break down that low. Maybe it maintains higher lows. And then maybe it doesn't get filled. But I think that 112 is, a better level. Oh, and, I don't plan on buying this. So I should adjust that because I need to adjust that. Don't plan on buying that. But yeah, let's see here. Okay, so yeah, this is, red there. I would maybe consider order, if alert gets hit. And so I need to adjust the alert there because I adjusted that number. And then let's, kind of consider the resistance to the upside for Litecoin. I had said 133. Maybe I want to adjust that though. It's been this prior resistance. So I think that it'd probably act as resistance again. Acted as resistance over here, but I don't think I got I don't think I got a fill on that order. But at this point, I think that it could be breaking out above that because it was rejected, it was tested, and so where would the next level be acting as resistance? I'd say like 140 because we have, like over here, this right around 140, this is like 140.79, 141.79, but this was support here, support over here, flip to resistance over here. It's a little bit higher than that level. And let's see, what was the high over here? The high was like 139. So yeah, I mean, I think like 140, I think that could like be getting fill. And, we can see this is the 1618 from here based on, from the low, high to low, 1618, 146. Yeah, so I think like 140 would be like the next level. And I think that that would be for sure getting filled. It'd probably go up higher to like 145 or so, but in order there would not be getting filled. So I need to adjust this to 140, but I don't plan on selling there. I'm just going to be chilling. Really, I just want to like when it's going vertical, when stuff's going vertical and I make one of these videos, it's like, then I need to not just trim, but maybe just like exit a lot of these positions just to trim the list down. And so the resistance at 140, Solana at 260, but that one, like, I don't know, maybe, yeah, I mean, Solana, that wouldn't be getting to all-time highs. So, I mean, I'd not want to trim there. Litecoin at 140, I think that this has a lot more potential to, not necessarily get up to like 360, but like over here, the high here, I mean, maybe we could just draw trend line like that. Maybe actually, 160 for Litecoin. Yeah, maybe I'd want to trim that, but then it's like getting into breaking out of this downtrend. And if that's the case, then it's like, here, I'm going to switch this over to the weekly for a second. And so we got this, like downtrend. And so what I might want to do is, Fibonacci extension from the low here to the high here, which was not broken, and then pulling back from there to the low over here. That would be suggesting price could be getting to like 460. So yeah, I mean, I think that this has potential to get up to 360, $100 above that apparently, because this would be breaking above that trend. If we do get up to this, that'd be like selling at resistance. So I don't really want to do that. That would be like, I would want to evaluate it if it does get up there. So yeah, 140, I'd evaluate. I'd think about it. I'd consider, but, and it also depends on like what's going on with my personal balances, my, whatnot. So, yeah, I mean, that's my, thought process with Litecoin. I'd say average below $100, so I feel good about that. This goes up to 200. That's a 2x. That's great. Maybe I could walk away there, not really worry about it. Or maybe I could trim, half of my position at a 2x. Then I effectively don't have any risk, and I can wait for like the 4-bagger getting up to like 400, which I think could happen. But then, things are a little bit more volatile. Things are moving faster. And then it's like, what I think with that, when stuff gets, like vertical, then it's like, okay, my level got hit, but then it pulls back and consolidates or, goes up. And then it's like, okay, well, now it's going higher. Maybe I want to wait or get the fill after it pulls back, and then it doesn't go back up, and then it just dumps. So it's like when things are starting to go vertical, it's like, okay, my alert was hit. Now I need to move it. Now that I've moved it, it's below my alert level. That doesn't matter because that's the volatility. I've just got to take it, move, run with it. Just be an approximate. It's not going to be exact levels. And so I think that this is, kind of a nice example of that. This is like a nice exercise. I need to not be so stubborn about my levels, but I want to be evaluating. And so that's what I am going to be doing. Yeah, so feel good about that. Let's go on to the next one, which is going to be the official Trump coin, ticker symbol TRUMP. Let's check out the market cap for Trump. That's going to be over here. This is ranked number 55 on the list. $1.76 billion market cap. I imagine this went down over the past week. And let's see, it was at 1.8 billion last week. Now it's just shy of 1.8 billion. And let's check out the price of Trump coin. And on the US dollar, this got this little trend line here, kind of broke below. So maybe this is like, dip buy territory. But anyways, the move yesterday went up 7%, 7.02% on the day on Friday the 22nd with a closing price at exactly $9. So just do it like that. Came down over the course of the past week. I'm down 22%. So this is one where it's like, not like, think about it. This is like, I could place a $7 dip buy just to be getting that average down while I am negative, but not going too crazy with it or anything. So $7 dip buy, I think that's fine to maintain that, but maybe I don't want it to be where it was at last week, which was at $8.99. So that got filled. And so let's kind of evaluate that. Where is it currently trading at? $8.85. I do have this green line here that would have gotten filled last week. That's at like $8.71, $8.69. Have fun with it. That would have gotten filled. But maybe it doesn't test it again. I mean, we're at $8.85 now. $8.70. Let's see. $8.69. Yeah, I'll do it at $8.69 because if it's pullback, then I could add. And I mean, so that corresponds with support here, 871, resistance over here, flip to support, and buying below 871, 869, always good throughout this time. assuming that it does break out higher. So 869, that's going to be my level. I don't need to be more aggressive with it. It's better than not having an order, not placing it, and, just chilling. So I need to place an order on that one. Where would the resistance be? I've said $17. And yeah, I mean, I still think that $17 to the upside. And so that would be one that, if there's an alert, I would still, so I mean, I need to place an order for this. That's denoted with the black. Resistance, still 17, so I don't need to adjust the alert there, but I'm not going to have any coins there to sell at 17, so then I would need to, check it. So yeah, I will still be the alert, but I'm going to place this denoted by the black there, just like with Solana. So yeah, I feel good about that. $17. That's, is it resistance? Is it resistance? We can see over here that we've had this consolidation here, really just kind of from the lows here up to the highs here. So kind of like what I did before. I might just, not that. I wanted to do the shape of this. And actually, there's a tool that I haven't been using that Sheldon's been using, and that is the kind of like path tool. So I'll want to do that in the future. But yeah, I mean, this is like, from like the lows here up to the highs. That seems like it's kind of a region of resistance. So like 17, yeah, I mean, I could trim a little bit there, but then I would think like the next level is going to be like 24.50. I want to trim more aggressively there. And that was the high. It looks like on Valentine's Day, the high was 24.58. So yeah, that's something there. And this is the tool that, the path tool I need to, actually, maybe I want to like favorite that. Actually, I was thinking that this would be like on the side, but no, I don't want to do that. So I'm not going to do that. Hide favorite drawing tools. Okay, yeah, so just don't need all that clutter. It's something I just need to get more used to. So 869 dip buy, don't need to do it, but if it gets there, that's great. And then thinking about, trimming at 17 and or higher. But yeah, this is one I don't need to hold forever. To be honest, I'd like to hold like one Trump coin just, forever for fun, just because I think it's interesting. But other than that, want to be selling, trimming. But yeah, this is all laid out over here, so feeling good about that. Let's move on to the next one, which is going to be Pepe, ticker symbol PEPE. And we need to check out the market cap for Pepe. It's going to be ranked at number 31 at $4.7 billion market cap. And so paste that over here. Did go up over the past week, was at 4.6 billion, and now it's at 4.7. Let's check out the price of Pepe. And Coinbase right here. And so we can see the closing price going up over 11% yesterday. Closing price was 11.57. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 11.57. Rounding up to 12. It looks like my average is 15 cents. I am down about 21%. So just like with Trump, this is one that I would be, willing to do a $7 dip buy, which is effectively $1 a day. No big deal. So let's kind of consider that. But first, let's talk about the dip buy level that did get filled over the past week, which was 10.69. We did pull back to that 200-day simple moving average, that SMA. The low, it looks like, was from yesterday, Friday the 22nd, leading up to Powell's speech. That was at 5.0982. So, maybe 4 zeros and a 1 would have gotten filled, but maybe not. It does look like that was kind of a fake out breakdown below this trend line that I have drawn, and, test of that 200-day moving average, which was acting as resistance over here, broke above it, but, tested it here tested it again. I don't know though if we will test it again. It might be kind of like a near test, but not a quite test. And yeah, so I mean, looking at this, the retracement here, I can really just extend that into the future based on, you know, the approximate high from over here. And that would be suggesting that like the 50% is going to be around 1079. So let's see, it's currently at 1124. So maybe like 11 or maybe, you know, 1069. Maybe I want to do this to the penny. And so maybe I'll do it to the penny and then I'll just go with that level. So the low over here was, let's see, 50525. So let's do this. Coordinates 50525. That's good. And then the high over here was 401356. 40s. Though let's see. I don't think I have that right. The high, not the low, 1633. 1633 to the fraction of a penny. I'm going to lock that into place, and then that will be suggesting a 50% retracement, which could be another retest of that uptrend that then gets held, but not a retest of the 200-day moving average. That, you know, still at 1079. So I'm probably going to do, let's see, 1079. But maybe I don't want to be so nitpicky with that, and I'll just do 10.8. Then I can adjust this to shrink there, make that a little bit smaller, a little bit more manageable. So that is a dip level that I would like to see get filled. So I'm going to do that in yellow, also adjust the alert so I'm following it. And, you know, let's see, LRC, I didn't adjust these levels, but I need to place alerts. I think that's what it was. Well, LRC from last week. What? Why did I make that yellow? I'm confused about that LRC. I just need to like LRC 8712. 8712. So I need to place that order. I don't need to place that order at 12 cents. I will need to if the alert goes off. And so if the alert does go off, then I need to, I don't know, trim. Why did I make that yellow? I don't think it needs to be yellow. I think that I need to do the alert though. So yeah, I mean, I need to place it for the dip. This, I mean, I need to have the alerts going. I'm thinking about this too much. I think I'm tired. So it's just too much information. 12 cents. I need to have an alert. If the alert goes off, then I need to act. And so, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it like that because it's yellow. I want to place it, but I don't have the order placed. So then once I do place the order, then I would probably change it to the bell and stuff like that. So need to follow up with that for myself after this video. So yeah, I'm just thinking too much. So Pepe, need to place the order there. So I need to make that yellow. And then for this level, is that one that I would want to get out at? Pepe 19, I'm just going to say 19 cents. That's really kind of getting into the meat over here. So I think that getting into this range, this consolidation here up to those highs, there's going to be some, resistance there. And so, yeah, I mean, 19, what I think, I'll do, I guess, this tool here that I have not really used much, draw kind of the path. So I think it could go down. I think it could then go up. And then maybe once it gets to here, pull back, come back down to like kind of test downtrend, and then goes up here, something like that. That's kind of what I could see. All right, and so I want to make that white. Cool, yeah, I think I need to kind of use that more. And, if you're wondering, why did I see this like pull back here, which I might need to adjust. It's just like, I see this kind of as like a downtrend there, maybe like that. And so that would be like, pulling back to that. And then it breaks out above, but then pulls back to find this, actually probably go a little bit lower to like over here. And then goes higher and then pulls back. So yeah, I think that could be some resistance 19 that I wait for. And, I don't have an order placed there. I'm not going to adjust that, but yeah, then I need to alert for that level. So I think that that's good. Trump, I would be buying that. We'll need to change that to the alert once I do place that, but not doing that yet. So, okay, so that's good. I'm taking too much time. Got about 15 minutes before this is an hour-long video. Now kind of getting into more exciting stuff, kind of like what I did with Sol, with, basically a $100 dip buy that I like to do on this. But for Cardano, actually, I'm going to do that. I'm going to start over. For the timestamps, So here now, next one being Cardano, ticker symbol ADA. Let's check out the market cap for Cardano, ranked number 10, I believe. Yep, that is over here. That's $32.6 billion market cap. Going to paste that there. And this did go up from last week. It was about $32.4 billion. Now it's 32.6, so went up a little bit. And now let's check out the chart. This is Coinbase, not futures, US dollar. And so we can see the closing price for Cardano after going up about 9.31% yesterday on Friday, the 22nd. The closing price was 93.09 cents, so 93.09. I'm surprised I was saying it differently than I was typing it, but I typed it correctly. It actually came down a little bit last week, and that's because it's come down a little bit today. Oh, wait, no. I guess, it was up and then it pulled back. Crazy. Market cap went up, but that's going to be, market caps at different times, whatnot. Anyways, I did get a dip buy for Cardano at 86 cents. And, as you can see over here, and we can see that the low was yesterday on Friday, the 22nd, and that was at 82.15. Pierced that 382 here. And so, yeah, there's that. But if I were to do another dip buy, where would that be at and how much would I buy? Because of this $300, I'm going to be taking out of Ethereum Classic that I would then be moving into Solana as well as Cardano. And so what's the dip buy level that I see for Cardano? I had 86 cents last week. That was pierced. And that was a pierce of, let's see, the 382. If I do move this forward a little bit, just being approximate, we can see that level in the future, but we can also add the, let's see, the 236. I'm just going to make that purple. And so that's going to be around 90 cents. So we're at 91.25, a 90 cent dip buy. I could see that would also be corresponding with like the tops here. So that could be also corresponding with some support and really, adding below $1. I think that's good. We do have the 200-day moving average though, down here at around 72 cents. I think that's fine, because we are putting in these, higher lows. I draw this out. Maybe we could be putting in a lower low, piercing like 82 cents again. Up 32%. My average is 70 cents, $100. I would say the dip buy for Cardano will be at 90 cents. Yeah, that's, rounding this up at 90 cents. Yeah, we're very close to 90 cents, so I think 90 cents is fine. I do need to place that, I do need to adjust the alerts, and I do need to place the order. As far as the upside goes, 108. I don't know that I want to trim out on this one so soon because, this just looks like, a massive bull flag. And with that being a massive bull flag, we could, start to think about this going up really high. So like 108 that I had drawn there, that's right here. That's, I don't really want to be getting out at 108 because, that's, we got kind of this like cup and inverse head and shoulders maybe, or just kind of like, cup and handle. And so once it gets up to like 123, then I think it could really start to take off. And, the way that we could get an idea of that is by doing a Fibonacci extension. So from like the lows here, looks like consolidation lows being approximate, going up to the high here, and then pulling back down to these lows. That will be suggesting price could be going up to, is that really it? Did I already have that drawn before? Nope, I didn't have that drawn before. So we'll put that back up. Like 160. That would, be getting into the region of, I don't know. This is like a downtrend break. I think this could be getting back to 3. But yeah, like 160, I would think would be like the beginning of, kind of considering that. And so just drawing like the rectangle over here, consolidation lows over here up to this prior high, which I guess is like the all-time high. It's kind of crazy. I don't know that that's exactly true. This might go back further in time on other exchanges. I don't really know. I'll bet you getting up to like $3. So, like 107, 108, that does correspond with that. So that does make sense. It could be consolidating there before breaking out. So I think really that'd be just like a level to like chill at, not worry about. 160, maybe it could be bumping into some resistance there, but kind of being at like around the middle point here. So I'm going to up that to 160. Maybe I'd want to trim, maybe I wouldn't. I don't really know. I do need to adjust that. But I'm probably going to make this red. I don't know that I'd really, trim there. But like Solana, I would dip by here. So I need to place that. Need to place the alert, need to place the order of it, then going up. I'm just going to treat this like SOL, and then, do need to have the alert there for that, for the order to the upside. Have the order here to the downside. So I think that is fine. And yeah, really that just being approximate, I think that it'd go past 160, but then just kind of taking some risk off the table. And, my average, I said, below $1.70. So yeah, I'd be fine to increase that a little bit to just increase my exposure there. Then now let's look at the next one on the list. Just above Ed's head there is Aave, ticker symbol AAVE. Let's check out the market cap for Aave. This is behind it, above his head now, ranked number 25, $5.4 billion market cap. And so let's just paste that, over here. And it did go up over the past week, which was at $4.5 billion. And now it's at 5.4. Let's see what the current price is of Aave. And this is Coinbase on the US dollar. This did, kind of launch, kind of very impressive. It does seem like it's getting into some resistance where it's currently at having pierced 380. Holy moly. That's the level that I've talked about with Aave, 380. I didn't trim though. I didn't trim at 380. It's since pulled back. What was the high? What was the high for today? 385. Maybe I should have pierced. I moved stuff off exchange, but it's just like, I want to like accumulate more. I should have potentially trim, but then it's like $7. Who cares? You know, and like taking a step back, looking at the chart, I think it could be going a lot higher. I think it could be getting back to like 620. So I think it's got like 2x potential. And my average, let's see, what's my average? 270. I need to see what my P&L is. I need to put this in there. Yesterday it went up 15.15%. And that is, let's see, closing price, 345.47. So 345.47. I'm up 27% on this. I'm not going to be doing, you know, a dip buy on this one. So I'll just put a little thinker there. And yeah, so 27%. Let's see. What am I thinking about? this video is too long. Yeah, I should have maybe trimmed there, but maybe not. I don't know. Where's it going to pull back to? Where would like the dip buy level be? I had the dip buy level at 283. What was the low of the past week? Looks like it was hit on Tuesday the 19th. The low was 275.72. So I got pretty close to nailing that. But now we can adjust these Fibonacci retracements. I've got multiple of them. I'm just moving up to this high right around here. And then maybe this one. Move that up. And we got a lot of clutter. I really think that like 320 would be like the dip buy level, kind of corresponding with the highs over here, but maybe it doesn't get there. Maybe it just goes to like 330. I think it could get there though. I mean, it's kind of like, I mean, we are putting in like, looks like higher highs, but still higher lows. Pulling back to that, we'd still be, you know, maybe kind of testing that. So I might just, to remove the clutter, you know, consolidation. What was the high over here? Actually, on June 11th, the high was 325. Currently trading at like 358. So I'd feel like that could potentially be, you know, like a level of some support. And let's see over here, just being kind of approximate. But yeah, I mean, you can see that, like, I don't even necessarily think that 325 would get filled, but, you know, maybe we don't get, maybe this is a false breakout of that uptrend, pull back to around 320, and then it's able to take off. So yeah, I mean, I think like 320, or maybe I want to round that up by just $1, you know, to consider it a fill. And so I'd say probably like 321, or, you know, it doesn't, like, I'm not planning on, you know, buying it, or do I want to do 320 or 321? I mean, still be putting in higher lows. I mean, like, I think my mouse might be dying. This is not so good. Just gonna shake the battery a little bit, spin it, give it some juice. And yeah, I might have to use the trackpad. This is no bueno. Yeah, this sucks. I gotta use the trackpad. This is a sign that I need to finish. Need to finish this video. And so, you know, just thinking about this, kind of that uptrend could still be hitting higher lows, coming down to, I mean, 300 even. But 320, I think that's reasonable. So I'm just going to come over here, 320. I think that's fine. This mouse, dang it. I'm just gonna rub the battery, give it some human electricity. Hopefully that will get me through to the end of the video. Yeah, damn, it didn't last. Okay, so that sucks. But yep, so 320, I need to make that yellow. And like the other ones, I don't plan on trimming at 380. Where do I see it? Yeah, 380. I didn't trim there. Yeah, I might have to check to see if I got another battery that's got some juice in it. So I might pause this, and then I'll come back in a second. Stop recording. I just want to pause it. Okay, 1 second. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back with a partially charged battery, so hopefully this lasts for the rest of the video. But yeah, thinking about Aave to the upside, 380. Let's see. I think, yeah, I mean, this is like, it looks like it's getting to like break out of downtrend, or like it has broken out of this downtrend, this trend line here. So I would think that what might happen, yeah, I mean, 320, let's just kind of like doodle it out here. I think that it could then pull back to around 320, somewhere around there, and then, start to maybe go up to here. You see consolidation, over here, maybe it bumps into some resistance, then pulls back, tests 380 as support, and then it goes to all-time highs and beyond. So yeah, that's kind of what I could see happening with it. So 380, that was tested. Let's see, we got these fib extensions that are over here. I think there's like a little micro one. I'm going to delete that. Just don't need the clutter. And what are these other ones? Again, they're kind of like small. So I might do, let's see, an extension from, like the low over here up to the high here, down to the lows that we hit there. And that would be suggesting, wow, I like kind of nailed that. It's very cool. The 100% will be around 465. I'm just going to round that down to 460. Okay. So this is going to be 460. And that is probably a level that I'd want to trim at, but maybe not. I don't know. So, I mean, how am I doing this? That's probably one that I want to trim at 460. That's not an all-time high. So yeah, I mean, let's see. Let me keep going back to the wrong application. So this, I'll make it red. And I will do it like I did these other ones, Litecoin, And so I need to adjust those levels. 460, need to adjust that. And yeah, so there is Aave. And I'm going to sit back in my chair. So I'm framed right over here. And then let's go on to the next one on the list. Again, an exciting one. Chainlink, ticker symbol LINK. Let's look at the market cap, and then I will talk about what is exciting about Chainlink. And actually, I think that there's also some stuff I need to talk about with Cardano, which is number 10. Chainlink is just below at number 11 at a market cap of $17.6 billion. And so, coming over here, let's check out the Chainlink price on Coinbase. And so the closing price from, let's see, yesterday, after going up 7.87%, the closing price was 26.77. 26.77. Looks like I'm green on that, about 45% up on my position. But this is one, like Solana, like Cardano, I'd like to have more exposure to. And why did I pick those? So Solana, I kind of talked about earlier. Cardano, I forgot to talk about, but that's really just because I think Charles Hoskinson was talking about having kind of like a Bitcoin reserve. And, I think a lot of people are like, well, what an idiot. Why would he be doing that? He should be having a Cardano reserve. But crypto is not isolated. Each coin is not isolated. And, it's this asset class. And I think that if they recognize their ability to work together, I think that there could be a lot of benefit there. And so I think that Charles Hoskinson recognizes, of course, the utility of Bitcoin and Ethereum. And I think that them having a Bitcoin reserve, I think that's actually a good thing. It's, just because one succeeds doesn't mean that others have to fail. It's not a zero-sum game. And so I feel like Charles Hoskinson really kind of demonstrates that. And so I'm bullish on that. And then similar to that, Sergey Nazarov, the co-founder of Chainlink, spoke at the White House Crypto Summit, that in a little short clip that the public got to see. He also, I think that he really just sees the tokenization of, Wall Street, all of the assets. And I think that he's really leaning into that. And then also, Cardano having a Bitcoin reserve, Chainlink is, having a Chainlink reserve. And so that's kind of what sent them up a lot. That's why I'm up 45% in my position. And yeah, also there's recently, I think, a partnership or something between Aave and Chainlink. So I think that's really cool. But Chainlink is below Aave, so I like to move, Chainlink up higher. And so really just kind of thinking about the three, Solana, Cardano, and a Chainlink, I'd like to push those up higher. So what would be like the dip level that I'd like to consider for Chainlink last week? The level was $20. That was not hit. It was white, yes. So I got that over there. So $20. What was the low for Chainlink over the past week? We can see that, let's see, it was on Wednesday, the 20th, the low, maybe over here, actually Sunday, the 17th. That was the low. And that was at 22,363. So I missed the dip at, coming down here as I've doodled. I was wrong about that. And so now where could I see the dip? So I'm going to delete that doodle before I forget. And I do have, 45%. Okay, cool. Let's see, this retracement, I need to move this up higher, approximately corresponding with the top there. And so that dip would be like 23, maybe 24. Currently trading around 25, 26. So maybe like 24 would be the dip level. And we have, gone up to this. I might actually just delete that extension. We'll draw a different one. But yeah, so like 24, I would think is like the dip level, not 20 for Cardano. And that is one that I do need to place. I do need to put that order in. I'm just going to do the same as I've got Solana and, Cardano. Okay, and then so 28, that is the trim level that I see to the upside, probably based on, I guess right around here. What was the... I don't know why did I have that there, I'm just going to delete that. 29, 30, somewhere around there. But really, I mean, let's look at this. We got this pattern over here, highs to the highs here. We're testing and or breaking out from that. And so... yeah, I mean, I think that this looks really good. I mean, it could be pulling back. And so, I suspect that it will be pulling back. Maybe actually, I can adjust this to maybe be something like that. So we got like a fake out break, pullback, retest, rejection, and then a pump higher. And then, a pullback to around 24. So like this, I could see it pull back down here to around 24, then maybe break out above this, getting into some like resistance over here on the left that you could see, like the tops over here, resistance becomes resistance again, and then maybe pull back to this and then go up to all-time highs and then pull back. And actually, I'm going to have to redraw this. I screwed this up. I wanted to add it more going into the future. So let's see. Sorry about this. Just need to get this over here. Yeah, so I want to draw this like, pulls back a little bit. Then it breaks out, gets into some resistance around here, pulls back, retests that as support. Then it goes to all-time highs. I mean, maybe it could go like this and then pull back down, find those levels as support. Then it breaks out, pulls back, and then goes higher. And so this is where I need to adjust that to like that. So that's kind of what I could see happening with it. It'd probably be like more, I don't know, vertical. Yeah, so let's consider, what are some of the levels that we might be trimming at. So taking a bigger picture perspective, so like from the lows to the high here, and then the pullback. So let's see, from the lows here, just being approximate, up to the highs here, being approximate, and then down over to here. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Like, this is just me looking at the chart, trying to assess it, and this lines up. So like the resistance level that I could see that I think would be kind of notable, and then we could have some pullbacks before going higher, that would be around 36, not 28. So 36, and I need to adjust that, and yeah, I don't know that I consider it. I don't have an order placed there. So I think that's good. I think that's cool. I like it. And now we're going to move on to the next one, which is going to be Uniswap, ticker symbol UNI. Let's check out the market cap, ranked number 23 at just over $7 billion market cap. And that did go up over the past week. It was at $6.9 billion. Now it's above 7. And so let's check out the price from Uniswap on Coinbase, US dollar. And so this over here, just zoom in, went up 11.78% yesterday, closed at a price of 11,428. So 11,428. And it looks like I'm up about 13% on that position. Did not get a fill on my dip buy at $10. And so we can look at this. Actually, what was the low last week? Low 991.6. Did not get a fill. 991.3. Did not get a fill. That was a low on Wednesday. So that's kind of frustrating, but I don't need to really worry about it, think about it. But yeah, I mean, we didn't put in a new all-time high, so I guess all these levels are still, fine, they're valid. But maybe it comes back down to like 1050. Maybe that doesn't get filled, so then I'd say 11. And I could also see something, like this, that being pulled back to as support, and then it goes higher. And, where could it go to? It could go a lot higher. But I think that, like, just for time's sake, all of that, $18, I think that could be, a level of resistance up here to be paying attention to. Yeah, so I'm just going to delete these retracements just so we're not getting into so much clutter. And just thinking that could be going up to 18 from, the low of 11 going up to 18. I don't plan on buying it down there. I don't plan on trimming it up there. And so with that being said, it's kind of, or I don't necessarily plan on trimming it up there because it's a smaller one. Like Ethereum Classic, it's more risky. I need to trim it. These are more risky. I need to trim them. But with that being said, this is kind of like I need to adjust the alerts. I don't need to place any orders. This is just going to be, an alert play for the week. Okay. And then the next one on the list might get some hate for this. Did go up because I did buy the dip. But yeah, I'm going to talk about, why I think I might get some hate for this. I don't think I will because the channel's not very popular. But this is XRP, ticker symbol XRP. Let's first look at the market cap before I get into the potential, making people unhappy. Yeah, first we're going to look at the market cap. I think this is ranked number 3. Not including Tether, USDT. So this is just shy of $180 billion market cap for XRP. Did go down over the last week, was at 184.5 basically. Now it's at 100, almost 80. Let's look at the chart for XRP. I was getting ahead of myself looking at it. This is, 22, August 22nd, the closing price, after going up 7.76% on the day, closing price was $3.0721. So $3.0721. I did go down a little bit, but I am up on my position at 30%, having bought the dip at $3. This is one, I'm like Uniswap that didn't get filled. I'm just going to think about it, though I'm not going to buy. Same with XRP. And so, kind of, thinking about this, I've talked about in these prior videos, Solana, Cardano, and XRP being like the ones that I feel, more confident in. I can't be so confident in all of them. XRP, it's kind of like a cultish community. I don't necessarily like that. I feel like they seem to be wanting to compete, with Bitcoin, and I don't think that's really like, this is all of crypto is a complement to Bitcoin. It's not in competition with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the gold, everything else, assets, utilities, whatnot. And so I just don't really like that. I'm fine with the XRP position that I have. I'm not going to buy more, be crazy or anything like that. I'm up 30%, feel good. I'll just chill with it. Not a big deal. And so that's kind of my thought process with XRP. I did buy at $3, but let's see what the low was for the week. Looks like that was hit yesterday on the 22nd, a low of 278.10. But that's fine. No big deal. And we are putting in higher lows, so that's looking good. And I'll just kind of doodle that out for you guys like that. And then, lower highs. So we're kind of putting in this pennant or bull flag. Could be breaking to the upside. Where do I think it could be testing? Again, to the bottom. I mean, $3, and considering that we did break below it, I think that $3 is just like a really psychological level. So I'm going to leave that at 3, which means I don't need to make that yellow, but I'm not going to place an order there. So I'm going to change that to red. And then the resistance level 369. I think this is probably going a lot. Actually, no, 369. I mean, that's all-time highs. So where could I see this going? I mean, it's really tough to like look at this, consider, because it was like so suppressed because of SEC stuff. But so like this is, I'm going to delete that Fibonacci extension. Just going to go from the high here down to the low. Wait, actually. No, this is, so what I want to do is something like this. So kind of like consolidation lows over here. Maybe I'll go, consolidation lows. Maybe I'll just do it, more in the midpoint. So it's not like super aggressive, like kind of corresponding with the low over here, then up to the high, and then the pullback. And so this is kind of where I could see XRP going. This is going to be off the chart. That's around 450. So XRP 450 is the new target that I would be considering. That would be one that, I would sell there, to be honest. I need to adjust the alerts. So I'm going to make that yellow. And with that being said, I don't have orders placed. I would want to place them. But yeah, I mean, this is just going to be kind of alert, not going to be placing orders. But that's one that I would kind of want to GTFO at or trim pretty aggressively at 450. New all-time highs, 100% extension. Makes sense to me. I feel fine about that. And so let's come back over here to look at the next one on the list, which is going to be Avalanche. This one moved down simply because I did not buy the dip on it, but I'll get to that in a minute. Avalanche, ticker symbol AVAX. Let's check out the market cap, ranked number 17 at almost $8 billion. And that is going to be right here. Looks like it came up over the past week. Avalanche was at 10 point almost 2. Now it's at 10 point almost 8. Looking very good. And Avalanche, this is one that I kind of, want to add more to. But I'm not going to, just like I'd want to add more to the Aave and, Avalanche. But Avalanche, got some, very good news. It's going to be a stable coin for the state of Wyoming, or not. It's going to be the stable coin. The stable coin is going to be on the Avalanche blockchain. So I think that that's, really, really good. And I think that that's something that other states are going to do, whether it's on the Avalanche blockchain, other ones, doesn't really matter. It's really just like tokenization of this stuff. And, I think that's just really good. Cynthia Loomis, super great. And so what we can see is the closing price after going up 10.85% yesterday, closing price was 25.24, 25.24. Looks like I'm up about 13% on my position. So, you know, maybe if this did pull back some a little bit more dramatically, I would consider buying. But for now, you know, just thinking about it, if it does pull back, but where would it pull back to? My dip buy level was $22, but that was not filled. So, you know, where is that going to be? And, you know, $22, what was the low? What was the low over the past week? The low, it looks like, was hit on Wednesday the 20th, and the low was 22.23. So I missed it by a little bit, but with the spread, I probably wouldn't have gotten it. Let's see. We still do have this retracement here. I'm not going to move it forward because I suspect we're going to be breaking above it next week. But yeah, I mean, we do have, like, let's see, a little bit of a trend line here acting as support. So what I could see is if we don't go higher, maybe we do pull back to the 236. And so that level is going to be around 25. Currently trading around 25.50. So maybe I'm being a little conservative there. So maybe like the midpoint here, you know, between those two levels, that would be around 23.50 or 24. So I'd say 24 is probably, yeah, I'd say 24 is the dip level. Make that yellow. I don't plan on buying that. And then the resistance level, I have it at 31. Realistically, I need to think bigger picture on this stuff. Otherwise, I'm going to be like too micro. And then when things really start to take off, I'm not going to have a plan. I'm going to panic. I'm going to make mistakes, whatever. And so, yeah, because Avalanche, let's look at this. I mean, we've got, I don't know, this is probably going to be a little bit wonky, but just thinking like these are like blow off tops coming over here to that being as resistance. And then like resistance, you know, these levels over here, you know, a little bit wonky, a little bit, you know, whatever. It still hasn't gotten up there. Maybe from, you know, I could draw it like this. And then it yeah, I mean, this is all just super wonky. So I don't really know. But from, you know, the lows here to the highs, and then actually I probably want to do it from here. The low, high, low. And see where that would take us. So the low here to the high. Coming back, corresponding with like 54. But, you know, really, I mean, I think that it could be going higher. But just for the time being, 54, that would really like be getting to like some resistance. So, yeah, it's tough. Because, I mean, I think it's like clearly this, it hasn't gotten up there. So, yeah, I mean, 54, I'm upgrading this, but still it's not really that exciting. I need to change that. I would not plan on selling there. Let's see. So alerts need to adjust, but I'm not planning on placing any orders. Okay. And so now the next one on the list, actually, before I say that, I'm just going to come over to here. The next one on the list is going to be Stellar Lumens, ticker symbol XLM. Let's check out the market cap for Stellar. That is going to be ranked number 14 over here, just shy of $13 billion. Copy and paste that over here. And it does look like it did go down over the past week. It was at over 13, about $13.3 billion, now shy of $13 billion. And let's see what the current price is, or the closing price from Friday the 22nd for XLM. Let's see, perpetual futures. I want the Stellar Lumens US dollar on Coinbase. Okay, zooming in here. This looks like it's a very nice bull flag. Looks like it's probably going higher. Yesterday went up about 8.5% on the day, closing at 424,606. So 424,606. Looks like I'm up about 17% on that position. For me, you know, I'm just going to think about it. Oops, I'm not going to buy. I do want to think about it. And so let's see. 40 cents was my dip buy level that did get filled. It did get filled. I don't know if yeah, so feel good about that. 40 cents. My average is 36 cents, so I did increase my average a little bit, but, you know, whatever. The low looks like it was hit yesterday on the 22nd, and that was at a low of like 38 cents and some fractions of change. And, yeah, so still Fibonacci retracement here, still in play because we haven't taken out these highs. We are putting in higher lows, lower highs. So, you know, just something like that. And, you know, over here. So I think that could be breaking out pretty soon. Where could I see it pulling back to? Again, I think like 40 cents. So I'm just going to leave that at 40 cents. I can make that transparent. They're not going to buy it, so, you know, it's fine. And the resistance, I said 56 cents, but yeah, 56 cents. Ooh, stomach making some noise. Yeah, I mean, here we do have something very interesting, you know, over here. I gotta do this like that. Got some highs over here, lower highs, lower highs. And so, yeah, I mean, there's some, you know, resistance there, 56 cents. Delete these fib levels, fib extensions, just too cluttered, you know. But like looking at this, so considering like from the lows over here up to the high and then the pullback, where could I see this going considering that this is like, you know, a bull flag? Effectively, this is like kind of an ugly, but, you know, upside move, consolidation, potential bull flag. Actually, I might delete this purple line. And yeah, so let's just get the extension going here. From, let's say, the lows over here up to this high down to here. That's like 75 cents or so, corresponding with like this highs over here. So, I mean, I think that's better than 56 cents. But then, yeah, I mean, that's like kind of like the bull flag pattern. Yeah. So 75 cents, I would say. So I will adjust that. But I do think, you know, this could be getting back to, I mean, I think this could go into $1. I don't really know. But you know, XLM 40 cents, 75. I need to adjust that. So I'm going to make that yellow. Would I plan on trimming there? Maybe. I don't really know. It's not there yet, so I'm not thinking about it. So just going to do this. And now get into maybe some of the more fun ones. Let's now talk about Pudgy Penguins, ticker symbol PENGU. PENGU. Let's check out the market cap for PENGU. Super cool, fun meme coin, cool brand. I really like them a lot. Ranked number 46 over here at $2.2 billion market cap. But did it go up over the past week? Did. So last week it was at, let's see, 2.0, almost $2.1 billion market cap. And so it's gone up by about $100 million or so. And let's see what the price is for PENGU. PENGU over here, Coinbase US dollar. Yeah, I mean, my analysis here, you know, it's just like, I think this is going higher basically like that. But yesterday went up 18.91% on the day. Friday, the 22nd, closing at a price of 3.622 cents. So 3.622 cents. Looks like I'm up about 6% on my position. So that's great. I wasn't necessarily expecting that. And I did actually buy a little bit more aggressively. I did do... you know, I had some leftovers from some selling of covered calls, just a couple bucks. And so I, you know, bought like $2.60 edition of PENGU. But yeah, I mean, got the dip buy fill here. And so I think that's great. Maybe, you know, I want to do another kind of order like that because my position in PENGU is small. I'd like to have, you know, at least $100 worth of it, which I don't have just yet. But I also want to be doing that at like pullback levels. And so my PENGU dip buy level was 3 cents. I feel like people probably were not expecting that to happen. It did happen. And now let's just see, where this could be going. And so I kind of view this as, let's see, do I want this? No, I don't want that. I want something from over here. Parallel channel. So it's going from like the tops over here down to the lows. And then maybe I'll just, do it like that. So yeah, I mean, I think that maybe this comes down to like the midpoint, and that would be around 3.3 cents. Maybe it goes a little bit lower, 3.2. And so I'd say let's do a $7 dip buy at 3.2. And the reason why I'm saying that, it's not really necessarily that arbitrary, but we do have some like lows over here around 3.2. Also the highs over here around, I thought it was, the highs were here, 3.2. Oh, yep, I was looking at the price there, but I mean this. These are around 3.2, so the consolidation highs corresponding with the lows over here around 3.2. So maybe rather than, so I'll do it like this. So I'll modify what I was thinking over here. And then now that it's like gone up, I could see it potentially coming back down to that midpoint, then breaking out, retesting that, and then going higher. Oops. Okay. And so I'm just going to delete my little doodle there. So we've got this, and that's coming down to around 32 cents. So I need to make this $7 dip buy yellow. I need to place that, and that will be placed at 0.032 cents. And I'm going to round this, not round it, keep it there. And so I need to place that order. I do plan on placing a buy there. 5 cents. I don't really need to get into that too much. That's just like Fibonacci extension up here. Not much history, 5 cents. I think that's where it could be going. Don't need to adjust that, but I do need to adjust the alerts, place the orders, whatnot. And then so the next one on the list this is going to be kind of disappointing, I imagine. Fartcoin, a little disappointing for me, ticker symbol Fartcoin. Yeah, it did got very close to my level. I did not buy, did not act, being disciplined, and that's totally fine. But yeah, let's check out the market cap before we get into the chart. Fartcoin is ranked number 86 over here at a market cap of almost $32 billion, $932 million. And so we look at it over here. 932 looks like it came down some. Last week it was at 942. Let's check out the price of Fartcoin. And this is going to be on Kraken, I believe, is what I want to look at, US dollar. And so, yeah, let's see. The closing price yesterday on the 22nd was 97.99 cents. So 97.99 cents. I don't have a position, so I don't see anything over here because, I'm waiting for 80 cents to buy, $100 worth. And then I'd sell it at $4.20. That's kind of my thesis with it. Just having fun with it, just being stupid. And so that level was not hit, 80 cents. We got a low yesterday on August 22nd of 80.84 cents. And then it rallied up to a high of over $1. So basically a 25% move from the bottom to the top there. I missed out on it. It is red now, though, currently trading around 93 cents. So yeah, I'm just going to wait for 80 cents, and I'm just going to wait for my order to fill because I wasn't doing this before, but I did place a limit dip buy with Coinbase Advanced using USDC to dip buy at 80 cents. And then, $4.20, that's just, having fun. $4.20, it's stupid. It's fun. And so that's really all that I have there. Don't really need to make any adjustments to that. Looking at all of this, still going to be doing the $2 dip buy or daily DCAs with PENGU. I think that's fine. Nothing too crazy. If I do have any extra cash in my account, maybe then I'd, buy a little bit more again. But yeah, feeling good about all of this stuff, feeling good about these dip buys. And let's actually just, before this is over, let's pull up Ethereum Classic, because I want to see what this is trading at. It's coming down a little bit, around 24. My 10% is just around 24. So yeah, I mean, I might need to act soon, sell some of that so then I could place these orders, there. Yeah, so we'll have to do that. Then looking at the percent P&L over here, I'm going to have to adjust the y-axis. I don't know why, I do this, I have to do this every week. Let's see, automatic, go to 0. So I guess I'll just leave it at automatic. And yeah, so what we can see here is that my Ethereum, I'm up about 99% on that. Everything I am up on, except for 3 things it looks like. One of those being Pepe, or 4 things. Because one of those being RLC, not surprised there. So I'll probably, hopefully get another dip buy, get my average down. But this is the least down I've been, I think, in the history of this. Down 33%. Then Pepe down 21%. Trump down 22%. So, those are the ones over here. Trump, Pepe right there. RLC is down here a little bit more. And then also, I think Loopring down about 5%. And so, yeah, everything else green on, feeling good about it. And yeah, this has been over 2 hour and 30-minute video. But yeah, I mean, if you did find it helpful, make sure you like it, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Me sharing my thoughts, Crypto Corner Sat Stacker every Saturday for the year of 2025. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, you guys.